Hey, good morning guys. We're back in my shop and it's a new week, so I want to remind you guys that on Friday this week your first assignment is due. Tools and materials that you guys have in your home, and we're going to be using some of these tools to build a project this week. So I'm going to assign your project right now. Your first project at home is going to be to build a birdhouse, and I'm going to be building one this morning here out of wood that I have, and I've made a design based on the amount of wood that I actually have. You might have wood to build out of, you might not. You might be trying to make a birdhouse out of cardboard or Lego blocks or whatever the heck you have. So it might be the real deal, or it might just be something that you're doing for fun to get some more marks for this course. So I'm going to go over right now what you guys need to do for a birdhouse project, what I'm expecting. There'll be a PDF file showing some plans that you might work from, but you're gonna have to choose what type of bird you're trying to attract, and we'll go from there. So it's pretty interesting. When I came up with this idea, I ran into a colleague of mine who is another shop teacher in the province, and he actually decided to do the exact same project, make a birdhouse or a bird feeder or something like that. So what I'm gonna do is include my little tutorial and my set of plans, but I'm also gonna put up his YouTube link to his birdhouse, because he has some other ideas. He shows some other tools that he had. He had all hand tools. He didn't even have a chop saw. So that will help you guys out a little bit with this this project idea as well. So make sure you check out both my video, his video, and my plans, as well as there'll be a document posted to the Google Classroom that you guys can use to help get through what this assignment is about. All right, let's get going. So here's the set of plans I came up with for the birdhouse that I'm going to make. Very first thing I need you guys to do is come up with a concept sketch on what you want the birdhouse to look like. I've added some extra things. I'm going to do some cedar shakes on mine. I'm making some tapered walls because I have a chop saw, so lots of angles on mine, and I make sure there's some ventilation holes. So I need you guys to draw a concept sketch, and I need you guys to research what size hole you want for what type of bird. So I'm going for a chickadee or house finch. After I came up with my design, I decided to go into a bit more detail, and I drew actually two different sizes, and I realized I'm going to go with the smaller size because of the amount of wood that I actually have. And from here I was able to make a cutting list. So this is all I'm expecting, is you guys to do a concept sketch, a more detailed drawing of how your birdhouse is going to fit together. Maybe you're going to use hot glue, maybe you're going to use tape, maybe you are going to use wood nails or screws, and I've also made mine so I can clean it out afterwards. I also came up with a cutting list roughly of the sizes that I need from my full-size plans, so you can do something like this as well. So you'll be submitting a concept sketch, cutting list, and your plans, and the next thing I'm going to do is lay out my pieces on the wood that I have. So this is the board that I'm working with, and I've laid out all of my pieces. I've got the bottom, I've got the sides, I've got the front with the hole. You can see there's some waste there, a back, and my two roof pieces. I've given myself a little extra room here for my saw cuts because I'm going to do some angles, but I've given a little less than normal, a little less than 1 inch, because I don't have a ton of wood and I want to have a couple of spare pieces in case I maybe make a mistake. So I'm going to go ahead and get these things cut out on the chop saw into my, my parts, and you could do the same on whatever material you're working with. So for my project, I actually don't even have an angle finder, a protractor, or any way to measure my angles. So what I'm doing is test cutting and laying it back over my project drawing to see if I'm close. I'm off by about 1 degree. I'm at 7 degrees right now, so I'm going to change mine to 8 degrees, do another cut, and that angle should be consistent for the rest of this project. Getting ready to finish cutting out all my pieces on a chop saw. And what I'm going to do is cut out my smallest ones first, because that's gives me the most amount of wood to hang on to, which keeps me safe. So I'm watching my chop saw rules, and also wearing safety glasses and making sure, keeping my fingers out of the path of the cut so I don't end up hurting myself. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up and start cutting all these things out, and I'll show you all my pieces once they're done.
I've got the first 3 parts of my project cut out. I've got a couple of the sides here, and I've got the bottom, and I've been using my plans as a pattern for cutting out my pieces here. And so I figured out my angles were 10 degrees on the bottom. It was a little different on top actually. It was 22.5 degrees. A little trial and error to get that working. And yeah, I can just put them together right on top of my drawing. And so this is why it's a good idea if you're making something like this, is to use a drawing. So I'm just mocking things up. It does fit nicely. It's a little hard to do that right now with holding a camera on hand. And now I'm going to move on to cutting out the roof and the front and the back before we start doing some preparation for sanding and maybe some finish on this. Most of the birdhouse cut out now. The front and the back I haven't shaped yet, and I'm going to show you a little trick to do that because obviously it's a bit of a complex shape. So we're going to use the drawing that I did as a pattern to mark it out. So we're simply going to take the pattern, and I'm going to be transferring the shape onto my block, and I'm going to do that putting it over top and then marking it with a marking wall on all of the corners. When I take the paper off, I'll have my pattern drawn on there, and I can start to cut this one out.
Alright, so I've got a pretty good start on my project now, and your guys' turn. So I'll keep you updated with where I get to on mine. I'm almost ready to drill some holes and whatnot, so I'll be starting that process. Obviously, you guys, this project isn't easy if you don't have the right materials, so I'm accepting any materials as long as you put in some effort and give it a try. And I've given you the option, if you don't like the birdhouse idea, maybe you can do a bird feeder, or if you have some other project that you're really interested in, send me an email, tcadell@saanachschools.bc.ca, and let me know what you're thinking. If there's some circumstance why you don't think you can get through these little projects right now, let me know. I want to know why. But to enhance your mark, you need to give these things your best shot. And as I said, whether it's you're using hot glue or Lego or cardboard or recycling materials, wood products if you have them, this thing might be the real deal, or it might just be something that you give some thought and planning to, because that's kind of the purpose, is using some skills, doing some project planning, and of course being safe as you try and get through it. So I'll keep you guys posted, and I'm not putting a due date on this thing yet. I'll let you guys get started this week. Again, end of the week, you guys owe me your first assignment, the tools and materials that you have in your house and specifically what they do, and I'll follow up a little bit later and see how you guys are making out. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll talk to you guys soon. All right, bye.